Have you ever finished a chapter, closed the book, and realized you don't recall a single thing? You are not alone. We go through pages, we skim, and we highlight. However, when it comes to true assimilation, everything we've read is like pouring water into a sieve. So what is the secret? It is not about reading more, it is about reading differently. Today, you will learn how to retain everything you read, using a method that divides reading into two simple stages: consumption and digestion. Much like food, you don't eat just to survive, you digest to absorb nutrients. And reading works the same way. Most people believe that reading equals learning. Wrong. Reading is consuming. Learning is digesting what you have consumed. Here is the truth. You don't forget what you've read because you are limited or lazy. You forget because you try to retain everything in the same way. But not all information is meant to be processed similarly. Reading is not a single skill, but a collection of micro skills. Just as cooking requires chopping, boiling, seasoning, reading involves decoding, understanding, connecting, repeating. Consumption is the intake, the raw reading, the speed, the format, the context. Digestion is the way your brain encodes and stores what you've read. If you only consume without digesting, you are like someone eating fast food and wondering why they feel weak. Let's analyze this process. Consumption equals intake. Digestion equals encoding. How you convert reading into memory, how your brain fixes it. The problem isn't the volume of reading, but the fact that you only consume without digesting. Not all information is created equal. Reading a manual differs from reading a novel. Watching a tutorial differs from going through a poem. So why do we treat them the same? Here are the 6 main categories of information you consume and how to digest each type. 1. Procedural information. How do I do this? Think about detailed steps. It shows you how to accomplish something. For example, following a recipe, assembling an object, or writing your first line of code. Why does it matter? It helps you take action. You learn by doing. 2. Conceptual information. What is this and how does it work? These explain fundamental concepts. It is less about steps and more about understanding the why or the mechanism behind a concept. Why does it matter? It helps you build a mental image of how elements connect. 3. Narrative information. What happened and why does it count? These are stories. They help you remember events and connect emotionally. Extremely powerful for memory. Why does it matter? Stories make information stick. 4. Analogous information. This is when you compare something new to something known. It's like using metaphors and analogies to simplify complex ideas. Why does it matter? It makes difficult subjects seem familiar. 5. Evidentiary information. This involves backing up claims with proof. It shows you it's not just an opinion, but that there are arguments. Why does it matter? It helps you think critically and avoid manipulation. 6. Referential information. Quick facts you need to retain. These are the minimal details you must know and be able to access quickly, such as definitions, dates, or formulas. Why does it matter? It represents the foundation. You need them to understand broader aspects. It is not necessary to read more. You need to read efficiently. If you allocate an hour to consumption, spend at least 20 minutes digesting. Here is a golden rule. Read less, reflect more. Assimilate deeply, not just diagonally. Highlighting is not equivalent to understanding. Rereading is not identical to memorizing. If you load your brain with content without giving it time to encode, you will be overwhelmed. You can retain what you've gone through. You just have to stop treating every text as the same. There is a way to consume a salad and a way to consume ice cream. It's the same with books. Know what you are consuming and digest it correctly. Remember, it is not about reading more, but about retaining more. Because what is the point of reading 100 books if you don't stay with anything from them? Leave a comment below. What is the strategy you will try next time you go through something important? Also, rate your current ratio between reading and retention from 1 to 10. If this material helped you, share it with a friend who highlights everything, but remembers nothing. And if you want more strategies for your brain, hit the subscribe button.